Good afternoon, Keller Williams, Steve Schleter, MAPS coach here. We'll talk of the stimulus package, and wanted to reach out to you today and talk about our own little stimulus package at Keller Williams. We call profit sharing, and I've had several agents and several team leaders discuss lately the fact that a number of their ALC members or associates are really wanting to use this opportunity, this marketplace, to create their own stimulus package by helping refer other great agents into Keller Williams. And the discussion has been, what are some strategies, what are some techniques or a system that I could implement that would allow me to be more effective in referring great agents who would benefit from the Keller Williams systems, education, and opportunities to really grow their business? How can I do that? And I want to share with you a strategy that comes from one of our great agents in the Central Texas area, or actually North Texas, a gentleman named Trey Williams, and kind of evolved into something we call the Starbucks plan. And let me tell you a little bit about how it works. And wanted to develop his opportunity and profit share, and was looking for a strategy that would allow him to do that. And he was in an office of great profit share earners who were getting really big checks. And Trey said, I want to be one of those guys. I want to have that kind of opportunity and take advantage of all that Keller Williams have to offer and truly being a partner. And so, visiting with his team leader, they developed a little strategy. And the way that they approach this is that Trey said, I don't have all the relationships all over the country like some of our associates. I won the Howard Britton Star. I don't have all those relationships. And so how do I develop this opportunity? And Trey at the time was doing a fairly large number of transactions. And so the approach became, well, how many opportunities do you have every month where you're in a transaction with a non-Keller Williams associate? And let's say it's 5. So in this case, there was 5 opportunities every month to share what he was passionate about in terms of his experience with Keller Williams, and also to build a relationship and bond with those associates. And so essentially, let's look at the Starbucks plan as kind of it's evolved and how you might apply it. And so in this example, let's say that Trey is doing a transaction with you, and you have a sticky negotiation on repairs or some dynamic of the contract. Well, Trey's always going to be the coolest head in the negotiation, and the negotiations might get tough, but he always keeps it high-minded. And of course, you'll come through and we'll make it all work, and Trey will look for some genuine, authentic opportunity to compliment you on being so professional and getting through that tough part of the transaction or the negotiation. And when that happens, he's building a little rapport and he's building a little trust, and he may actually make a phone call to you and just say, I just want to thank you for being such a professional. We did a really great job, working through that sticky negotiation. You handled it just really well with your client. I just want to thank you for being such a professional, and I really look forward to us getting it to closing. So thanks again for doing such a great job and being such a pro. And he'll leave it at that. And then we get to the closing table. And in Texas, it's not uncommon for buyer and seller to be at the closing table together. And if that were to be the case, what might happen is escrow officer goes to make copies, and your client, Mr. and Ms. Smith, are there at the closing table. And Trey might say something like, Mr. and Ms. Smith, I just want to tell you, and I know you, while we're waiting, and I know you know this, but I really feel compelled to share with you, as someone who has been in this industry for some time now, I just want you to know that you guys are really so fortunate and so lucky to have Joe Realtor representing your interest in this transaction. He's done just a magnificent job of representing the transaction, your interest, and as somebody who's been around for a while, I just want you to know that you guys are really fortunate to have Joe on your side. And now, how's Joe feel about you? No doubt, you kind of walk on water for Joe. And then the way to cap it off would be, You know, and the best way you can reward Joe would be for you to send him 5 referrals as fast as you can. And that would be the best gift you could give back to Joe. And of course, Joe's going, I don't even ask my own people for referrals. This guy's a rock star. And so, closing goes on. 3 to 7 days later, Joe gets a call from Trey. And Trey says something to the effect of, Joe, I just want to call and thank you again for a fantastic transaction. You were such a pro to work with. And as a token of my appreciation, I got you a little gift. And I wonder if you'd be kind enough to meet me at Starbucks. I'd love to give it to you. Now, at this time, the gift that Trey was offering to these folks when he met them was the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Today, it could be Shift. It could be My First Home. You know, there's plenty of resources that we're familiar with in Keller Williams that others might not be familiar with that we might want to share with our fellow associates. And during the conversation, I mean, Trey would build a relationship. You know, in your case, you might use the relationship model we call forward, and family, occupation, recreation, dreams, to really get to know them. And at some point in the conversation, he might say, you know, I was sharing with my team leader today how fantastic you were to work with. And keep in mind, all this is real and genuine. You know, Trey's not saying anything he doesn't truly believe and feel. But he's then saying, so at some point in this conversation, I was sharing with my team leader how awesome you were to work with. In fact, I told him, I said, you know, Joe's really one of us. I mean, he would fit into our organization just so well. He's Keller Williams, and I was sharing this with my team leader. I guess, Joe, I'm curious, have you ever explored opportunities with our company, with Keller Williams? And if the answer was no, he said, well, you know, I think you really owe it to yourself to explore. Because, see, here's what I love about Keller Williams. And he'd go on to share what he was passionate about. But, you know, it's different for everybody depending on your needs. And, you know, my team leader can explain the opportunities so much better than I could. Would it be okay if I had him give you a call and you guys got together? And I'm sure he'd love to meet you as well and maybe share some of those opportunities with you. No pressure, but would you be open to that? And that was an opportunity to set up many great referrals to the team leader. Now, if there was a pushback, say, no, I met with somebody before, it's really not my thing, I don't intend to move, and there was a lot of strong pushback, he wouldn't push back hard on it. He might just go right back into rapport, but he'd look for the next opportunity, whether it was a regional training event or family reunion or mega camp, to invite that person, because now there was a bond and there's a relationship and they're building trust. And these folks would then get involved with Keller Williams Education, which we know once experientially they touch the company and they get impacted by the company, high odds are that they're going to see the value and want to be a part of it. And so that's a little thing we call the Starbucks plan. Now, if you're in a market where buyer and seller don't close together, we have an alternative to that. The alternative would be to send a letter to their client and to copy the agent on it with that same gratitude to the agent for being such a professional and how they represented the interest of their client so well, and that the best thing they could do for their agent is send them a bunch of referrals. And again, you're going to have an agent that's full of gratitude and appreciation, and you can follow up and say, hey, I hope you got my letter. Again, I was so thrilled with our transaction. I got you a little gift. You know, could we get together? And then just follow the same process. And then continue to build on that relationship. If they don't make a decision right away, if Keller Williams is not a match for them today, build that relationship. Get them to an event. Invite them to be our guest at family reunion or at mega camp or a regional training event. And begin to share this great company that we get to be a part of called Keller Williams, and you know, let them have that gift as well. So I hope that helps you as a little strategy to kind of tap into the Keller Williams stimulus program we call Profit Share and start to build that opportunity in your life. So have a great, fantastic day. Look forward to seeing everybody in Orlando at Family Reunion. See you later. Bye.